Chag Sameach, everyone. Today is Pesach Sheni, the second Passover. This is the holiday recorded in the Torah that there were a group of Jews who were ritually unclean because they were carrying the casket of Joseph for burial in Israel, and therefore they were not able to bring the first Paschal offering when the Jews left Egypt. And they came to Moses and they said, Moses, Lama Nigara, why should we miss out on this opportunity to do the mitzvah of Karban Pesach? We want a second chance. So Moshe speaks to God, and God says, fine, 1 month after the first Passover, there'll be a second Passover for those who missed the first opportunity. Today is 1 month from Passover, and therefore we commemorate this holiday, and all we do is eat some matzah to remember the message and the lesson of this holiday. It's not that we practice it, because it was only in the desert for those Jews who didn't bring the first Karban Pesach. But the message of this holiday is a most essential message, because why is it that there's no second Rosh Hashanah for someone who missed services on the high holidays? Or if somebody was ill, God forbid, and they were in the hospital on Yom Kippur and they couldn't fast, they don't get a second chance to fast Yom Kippur. But this holiday, there's a second opportunity, and that's because this holiday of Passover is all about freedom. And the most essential gift that God gave us is the gift to live freely. And therefore, if you missed your first chance and you want a second chance, God grants it to each and every one of us. All we have to do is stand up and say, God, I want a second chance. And God will give it to you the way He gave it to the Jews in the desert. Yesterday, we finished reading. We finished the 4th week of the counting of the Omer. And each week we work on a different attribute. The attribute of last week was the attribute of Netzach, which means victory. But more than victory, the word Netzach means perseverance. And even more than perseverance, the word Netzach means eternity. And the message is that we in life have the choice to be victorious and to persevere. Why? Because we have a soul that's a part of God, a part of eternity. And therefore our failures are temporary, but our soul's journey is eternal. And therefore, with the help of God, we can overcome any obstacles, any failures, and be given a second chance in life to get it right. I feel that this year's Pesach Sheni has special relevance to each and every one of us, because on October 7th, there was a massive failure of our security in Israel, where tragically men, women, and children became vulnerable to the worst horrific attacks known to the Jewish people or to mankind. Unspeakable horrors. And we look back on October 7th and say, how did we fail? How did we fail our citizens, our brothers and sisters, our sons and daughters, our mothers and fathers? And there's a resolve from every Jew in Israel and around the world that we will be given a second chance. We will fix this. We will grow from this. We will make sure that we have the right security in Israel, that something like this can never, ever, ever happen again to the Jewish people. But also when we look back at October 7th, we think of the months that led to October 7th, the infighting, the strife, the division in Israel. And once again, we look back and we're ashamed. And we say, how did we allow that to happen to us? How did we become a divided nation? And once again, we pray to God and say, God, give us a second Passover. Give us a second chance to get it right. We are going to become a united Jewish people with love, with unity, as we have since October 7th, coming together, Jews all over the world. We will learn to love each other properly. Pesach Sheni is such a relevant message today for the Jewish people on a whole and for each and every one of us individually. There is a child psychologist in Israel, in Jerusalem. His name is Shimon Russell. And he tells a story that he had a teenager daughter who went through struggles during her years. She started to leave the traditions, observance of Judaism and get involved with bad friends and the street and negative influences and substance abuse and distancing herself from the family. They went through years of hardship, of ups and downs. But thank God he worked with his daughter and brought her back to healing and to overcome her struggles. And thank God she rejoined with her family in a healthy way. And Baruch Hashem, she met a wonderful young man. She got engaged and she got married. And he says that at the wedding, as the bride was in her bridal suite, as his daughter was in her bridal suite getting ready to come out to the reception, he gets a message that his daughter would like to see him. So he goes to the bridal suite and he sees his daughter is sobbing with tissues at her eyes, and he got scared. He said, maybe, God forbid, she changed her mind, she doesn't want to get married. And he said, what is it? Why are you crying? And she said, Abba, Dad, I need to ask you for forgiveness. Before I go to the wedding, I want to ask you for forgiveness for everything I've put you through, all the aggravation and the hardship that I made you suffer. And he looked at his daughter with tears and he said, you don't have to ask me for forgiveness. I have to thank you for making me a better person. Through your struggles, I've grown as a father. I've learned what it means to have unconditional love. And as a result of that, I'm a better father, a better human being. And therefore, no, you don't have to ask for forgiveness. I have to thank you. When we look at our struggles, our challenges in life, we could see them either as just failures that are permanent or as stepping stones instead of stumbling blocks. Stepping stones to climb higher, to become better, to be given a second chance, to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and say, we will overcome this challenge. And we will make sure that we fix it. And if we can't fix it, at least we will grow from it and become better as a result of it, rather than bitter. This is the gift of Pesach Sheni. God grants it to each and every one of us. Have a wonderful day.